All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's basically what it comes down to.
The many worlds theory, right?
Yeah. Gross oversimplification.
Isn't it weird how we just learned that in the 50s, but we've been around for like what, millions of years?
We've needed a lot of time to let that sink in, to let that idea sink in.
Can you imagine if we were born like? Because it's kind of a cosmic coincidence that we were born at the time period we're born at. My phone. We were kind of born at the time period we're born at, you know, with like medicine and math and freaking technology and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if we were born like just even 100 years after now? Because literally within the past like 20 years, we've made such a huge leap in our ability to move as like people in a civilization.
Right.
Whether it's like technology or the way in which we communicate or our understanding of the universe. Like imagine if we were born 100 years from now, we'd probably have like spaceships. We probably wouldn't even be born on this planet. We would have been born on Mars. We would have been told like, yeah, you're actually not from Mars, you're from Earth.
Right.
I mean, that would be crazy to tell the people that are born later on, like, hey,
your people come from Earth.
Yeah, you're not actually from this planet. Like, wait, what's a planet? I was like, oh, it's it is a planetary. It's a giant mass-filled bit of debris floating through space that orbits a celestial body known as a sun, or multiple suns in that case. And even within your own planet, it has other celestial bodies that orbit around it called moons, or a moon. But yeah, you're not from here. You're from there.
Yeah, your ancestors anyway.
Yeah, that's gotta be fucking weird to explain to like a person born on another planet. Like, yeah, you're not really from here. You're from there. Like, and you point to the sky.
Well, it's weird to think about that because, well, I don't think it would be that big of a deal to somebody that was born on Mars and grew up there.
Yeah.
It'd be the concept of Earth would be a lot weirder if they'd never been there or heard about it.
You're like, Earth? That sounds gay. I'm staying on Mars.
That's kind of like it'd be like a distant way of saying, you know, my family's from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. I don't know. I never grew up there or never went, so I don't really have much of a connection to it. It's not that big of a deal for me.
Or my cousin's from Lompoc, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, distance is distance.
I think
even if you say like shit is the way it is now compared to how it is over there, it's still
also
kind of fundamentally the same. Fuck. You're right. There's yellow. Damn it.
I think context plays a lot.
Yeah. You know, it's actually surprising. For a while, I was obsessed with watching British TV and like British dramas.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I wonder how different they are from us. Other than the accent, not much is different from them compared to us.
Right.
I was super surprised. I was super surprised. I'm like, well, they say things a little different, but they essentially have the same stuff. They have the same problems, the same issues. Just they're different by like minimal degrees, maybe like 3% different than us.
You're reminded that they're still people.
Yeah.
Their customs may be different from ours, or from, you know, your personal ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they still speak to each other. They still argue. They still have jokes. They still have feelings and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's just a different context, different frame of reference.
Mm-hmm. They're still standing on the solid earth we're all standing on.
I got this. I found a way to watch Japanese TV. No lie, it's like watching interdimensional cable, like on Rick and Morty.
Really?
Dude, it's so crazy. I was watching this infomercial.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched an infomercial in so long, and I was watching this one in Japanese where this man and this woman were selling a phone.
Mm-hmm.
you know, like with a certain amount of gigabytes of something. I couldn't really
this
understand
amount of
it,
storage, screens this big, yip, yip, yip.
right, but it was just like an infomercial. It's just that their mannerisms, they were a lot more excited, or the way that they were excited was different from the way I'm normally used to it. And then when I'd watch the commercials and stuff, legit like watching interdimensional cable on Rick and Morty. It was crazy.
Oh, was that gonna get the curve? Oh, I almost did.
You know, girl can dream.
Yeah. I think Japanese TV is special because there's a lot of weird shit that comes out of Japan. They've been exporting weird shit since like 2002.
Yeah.
They're the experts on bonkers commercials. Because if you see some of their commercials, like even if they have celebrities and stuff, like they have some with fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and Tommy Lee Jones, of all people, doing commercials in Japan for like energy drinks and I think like textbooks. I think there's commercials for textbooks. I forgot what it was. But there's like a commercial where Tommy Lee Jones is like in there and he's fucking shooting lasers out of his eyes. But he's like the serious Tommy Lee Jones face. So it's a little hard to imagine him like doing something that weird.
It's just so nice to go to step outside your comfort zone sometimes and just look at it, especially with when it's legit TV from a different because there's no training wheels, there's no subtitles, there's nothing. You're in on your own. Figure out what the fuck's going on.
It's purely what they are,
and it's fucking cool.
It is pretty cool.
It's like sometimes I feel like you can kind of you're so used to our culture's way of doing TV that there's times where you can kind of see where something's going.
Yeah.
Like I don't care what sitcom it is, if I see certain things, I'll know that I'm watching a romance episode, or depending on what happens, I can tell you that it's going to be one of these episodes.
Yeah.
But like when you watch another cultures, doesn't matter which one it is, just that it's a different one that you're used to.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah,
it's so fascinating because you get to see like a little mirror window into how they think, how they market stuff. Because what's a bigger epiphany, or what's a bigger concentrated dose of someone's culture if it's not a commercial in their culture?
Yeah.
Like, what exactly do they want? What are they selling to each other? What are they telling each other? Oh, commercials will say we'll do that sometimes.
Right. These people also advertise bullshit just like everybody else.
Yeah. or their culture is equivalent to bullshit. Like energy drinks. Energy drinks are fucking everywhere in Japan, dude.
Are they really?
Yeah, energy drinks are like a huge business. I mean, technically they're business across the world when you consider how big Red Bull is. Especially with the fucking like sponsorships they put out everywhere. Like, drink Red Bull. We put it on F1 cars. We put it on a dude who jumped from a fucking space station down to Earth. Red Bull gives you wings or some shit.
Yeah. It's huge.
But I gotta tell you, dude, one thing I've really enjoyed watching, because I know you brought up commercials, I love watching pre-recorded tapes of 1990s commercials. They are so entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even like the Capri Sun commercials or the Hostess commercials. Do you remember a Hostess commercial where like a woman had like, it's a commercial of a shark and it's like underwater, like looking up for its prey, and you know it's like the Jaws music, dun 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 dun, and the shark looks up and it sees like a Hostess cupcake, like a cupcake with the
little swirls,
little swirls. And then the camera comes up and it's a woman with like the swirls on her back and she's in an inner tube.
Oh yeah,
and she's like
I remember
sunbathing and
that.
shit. Yeah. And she's fucking sunbathing, and the fucking shark goes and like tries to eat her, but pushes her out of the inner tube. She fucking flies into space.
Yep.
And the shark is like, "What? Where's the cream filling?" And it's like the Hostess commercial. I'm like, wow, these are like supremely entertaining commercials. That and as we all know, the grand master of 90s commercials. It's that one board game. I forgot the name of it. I call it the Grandmaster, but I forgot the stupid name of it. Crossfire. Remember Crossfire was like a little board, and you have to like shoot like what was it? Little ball bearings towards like little spinners on the board. You have to push the spinners into another person's skull.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
And it had like a theme song that was like Crossfire, Crossfire, you can do it now tonight, Crossfire, and it keeps on going. But dude, I remember I was on YouTube not too long ago, and I was watching these like reruns of someone pre-recording 90s TV, and I couldn't stop watching him. I just hit autoplay, and I was pretending like, oh, it's 1997 again. I'm watching TV in the front room of my parents' house. Because nowadays we need a little bit of a reminder of a happier time. With, the Rona going around and shit. Yeah. Oh, by the way, in the last podcast, I forgot to mention, we recorded that back in like December. Was it December? It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I think it was December.
Yeah, before Cyberpunk came out.
Yeah, fuck.
But before Cyberpunk came out. Did you know Cyberpunk is $30 at Best Buy right now?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no.
What?
Brand new, it's $30. That's not good.
What would you consider the differences between the failure, I guess, that we're told that Cyberpunk was, and the failure that Duke Nukem Forever was?
I think it's two very different things. Two very, very different, because Duke Nukem is a sequel, and it was in development hell for like 12 years. Long time. And the guys at 3D Realms that made that game, they kind of had a track record of making good games, but in the end they kind of didn't live up to the hype. Which, if something took 12 years to make, especially in the way that video games work, there's no way 12 years of speculation, hype, and dreaming from the fans could amount to what they wanted. There's not enough time in the world to do that. That's why I know when there's like short game development cycles, like a year to 2 years, you at least give 1 to 2 years for people to speculate and not get their hopes up on shit. The more time you give fans, the more time you give them to hype up your game and ultimately disappoint it. That's why Valve said they're never going to release Half-Life 3, because it's been way too long. People will expect way too much from it, so we're not going to make it.
Not going to put ourselves through that hell.
Yeah, because no matter what, we know we can't satisfy you people. We can't satisfy you. Plus
that's why they just released the script, right?
I think that the script leaked online, and it was the actual writer of the game leaked the script after he moved on to another company. Yeah. So he leaked the script online and just changed the names around, for legality reasons.
Right.
Which, it sounded like a good script, sounded like a good game. It just, I don't think the Half-Life games really relied on their script. They relied on their gameplay and their world building. Because I think when we all kind of played Half-Life 2, we all really hoped to one day visit City 17, because it looked kind of cool. Yeah. Like the dystopian future you can kind of run around in and shit. It looks super interesting. But, I mean, when it comes to these games and their long development time, I don't know if Cyberpunk had every chance to succeed, man. They just had to delay it one more time. And the fact that
the fans were having that. Nobody was having that. We want it now.
We want it now. We definitely want it now.
But it's not ready yet. Well, can you imagine saying that to a pregnant person? I want my kid now. It takes 9 months. Well, no, I want it now.
Pull it out of me. Pull it out.
And we have this preemie baby that's suffering and shit just because you wanted it now.
I pre-ordered this baby 7 months ago. I want it now.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, wait. I know it's 9 months, but we're gonna need another month in here.
Oh god.
No, let's induce birth. Well, I mean, maybe that's. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's
let's hit pause.
Okay. So do you have a YouTube channel that you regret ever loving?
Subscribing to?
Yeah, like okay, you know how some people feel about Dane Cook? They used to love that guy. And then now, time has passed and people look back and they go, oh fuck, I never liked Dane Cook, fuck that guy. Do you have a YouTube channel that's like that?
Oh man, you know what? I think I do, but it's not actually a YouTube channel. They got onto YouTube, but they actually predate YouTube, and that is Rooster Teeth.
Okay.
I really liked Rooster Teeth. You know the guys who made
Sure. And Immersion.
and Immersion, and they made 1-800 Panics. Remember 1-800 Panics?
No.
You remember 1-800 Panics?
No, I don't remember 1-800 Panics.
It was like a 7-episode like little short series.
1-800 Panics?
Yeah, 1-800 Panics. It was with Fear. Remember the game Fear?
No.
I gotta show it to you. It's actually really funny. But Rooster Teeth, they kind of fallen off the map. They were kind of like they kind of still are the #1 longest going web series with Red vs. Blue.
Would you say that's not always a good thing?
I would say no. I would say it's a good thing because Red vs. Blue is still pretty good.
Still?
Red vs. Blue is still pretty good. I still like Red vs. Blue, and they're up to like season 14, I think. They have a lot of seasons in that show. But Rooster Teeth as a company, because I mean they make more than just Red vs. Blue. They have Achievement Hunter. They have
Right.
their YouTube channel. They have the Squad, which was an improv show. They have Always Open, which is like it's like women's programming.
A long time ago, they became a media company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they still kind of are these days. They're trying to become like their own independent like Netflix platform, and they provide their own shows.
Yeah.
They're kind of good in that retrospect. The only problem is that I think they've let politics dictate way too much what they see as entertaining and humorous, to the point to where like, a lot of the original people who were there left. The original people that I started watching, the reason why I even started watching Red vs. Blue and their other stuff, they all left. Like the guy who founded the company, Bernie Burns, he left the company like a year ago. He just said, yeah, I'm out, guys.
So it's still Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth by name.
Yeah, it's not Red vs. Blue made by Rooster Teeth. It's just Rooster Teeth now.
So what do you say? Would you say that people make the company? The people make the company?
I would say the quality content makes the company, and it seems like their kind of quality has kind of been down because they've kind of gone into the section of using politics to really dictate how they manage their content, and it seems kind of productive because I would watch this stuff because it's plain dumb humor. It's supposed to be entertaining, stupid, either clever,
Silly.
yeah, silly, entertaining. But when you start interjecting like real world politics into it, you kind of suck the fun out of it. It's like trying to apply real world physics to a video game. It doesn't work because you take away what's fun about the game. And if you have like a series where you're just producing videos or content where it's really funny, it's about video games, it's about movies, it's about music, but then you start talking about how it has political influence or it has moralistic ideals that are influenced by your belief system or your background or religion. I would say sometimes religion even ruins multimedia sometimes. But it just seems like Rooster Teeth, they went really, really far into the degree of using politics to really dictate where they're going to push their humor and push their quality of their content.
Right.
Which works for some media companies that make stuff like that. It does work for them. But the problem is that Rooster Teeth was known for having super creative writing, dirty, hilarious, dark jokes, and not really giving a shit what other people say and doing whatever they want. And yeah, edgy too. Edgy to a degree. And there were people in that company that I love to listen to their stuff. And I understand jokes are jokes. Jokes are jokes until they're not jokes.
Right.
also, it kind of seems like with their YouTube channel and their comments, they announced like I think it was last year. They announced that they're going to go through their back library of content and start removing stuff they no longer agree with. Which, you know, what, their company, they can do that. That's great. But it would also be great if they could like kind of section that off into like a part, like a subsection of their YouTube channel or even of their website that says, "Oh yeah,
Rooster Teeth After Dark or
yeah,
whatever.
uncensored or uncut. Like this stuff is too raw."
Right.
If they could just section that stuff out to make it available for people who know, hey, this is the stuff that really got us going. This is the stuff that got us
Separate jokes from reality.
or people who just like dark jokes or dark humor, because dark humor and dark jokes are starting to go away nowadays.
Yeah.
Like that whole, I mean, it's an art form. A part of dark jokes, a huge part of like dark humor is that it's the ending result of a process of grief. Right. It's at the 5 stages, what is it, 5 or 6 stages of grief? At the end of it, there's acceptance, and that's where you accept the reality and you can kind of use that information to play off on your normal everyday life without having to feel the initial steps of that grief.
Yeah, dark humor can be.
Dark humor is the ultimate acceptance of either trauma or a terrible event that happened to you.
Well, when something horrible happens, right? You can't change what happened. Let's say something horrible were to befall somebody, and we were to come across them, right? If it's a hopeless situation where it's like, damn, what can I do? I can't do shit.
Yeah.
Right? Get through the situation, and then afterwards, if you need talking about it to help you get past the trauma of the whatever. Yeah. Sometimes making jokes makes it easier to talk about stuff.
It kind of normalizes it.
Well, at least you can laugh at the situation.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Well, we were totally fucked. There was no way around it. I was dead to rights. Done. Yeah. And just laugh about it. The point is that it makes it possible to talk about it. Something horrible. I mean, where do you think dead baby jokes come from?
Yeah.
Not necessarily one person saying, I hate babies, I'm going to make jokes about them being dead. But sometimes horrible stuff happens to good people, and what can you do? Cry? Yes. Fight? Sure.
Yeah.
Yell? Go fuck up people? Or just sit around making stupid jokes?
Yeah.
Help me talk about it.
And there's kind of an artistry in that, because when you make a dark joke, whether it's on stage in a comedy show or you're writing into a script of a popular web series, when you make a dark joke like that, you have to understand your kind of audience and how they feel about things.
Read the room.
Yeah, you gotta read the room. Exactly. You gotta read the room, and you have to kind of wonder, okay, does this fit? Is this really gonna fly if I make this joke here? Or should I save it for another time when this event hasn't happened, or this event just happened? Do we really want to make a joke about it now? Or you can just say, you know what? I'm gonna go Hail Mary. I'm gonna make this joke right now and see how well it lands. Maybe I'm creative enough. Maybe I'm funny enough to get away with it. That's why Joan Rivers and Gilbert Gottfried, that's why they got banned off of Twitter. Because they literally made tragedy jokes the day of the tragedy. Which,
I think that's fascist.
it's a bad call. It's a bad call to do that. If you're funny enough, I guess, if you joke about a natural disaster, people are still recovering from it. The time limit on making those jokes is kind of far away than the day of it happened.
I don't know.
But then again, it's reading the room.
I gotta put it blunt and say, in order for it to be considered a joke, it's gotta be a good one. Okay, it has to be balanced, right? Equally, you need enough funny in your joke to balance out the horror Boston bombing or something like that, and it's just okay. You know, it's just one of those no shit Sherlock kind of a joke. Then that is just plainly poor taste and just poor form, poor execution.
Yeah.
You would have to find a way.
You have to find a good setup and a perfect punchline with good timing to make that happen. That's why I call it artistry.
Yeah.
Because you have to really know what you're doing to make that joke land with that specific audience.
And here's another thing. If you think you have a good joke and you say it to the wrong audience and they get mad at you, you deserve that. You deserve that.
You have no right to get mad at the audience that didn't like your joke.
You offended your joke. Yeah.
You knew the risk getting on that stage, whether it's at a comedy show or putting it out on the internet. You knew the risk. You knew everybody was going to hear this. You knew everybody was going to see this. Don't get mad when people get fucking like pissed off when you made this joke.
Yeah, if you walk up to somebody and you slap them in the face, you get punched in the nose. Well,
Don't get mad if they punch you in the nose. Take it like a man.
Yeah.
I think that's why that's the inherent risk with humor nowadays, is that it's very humor.
Well, I mean,
Audiences have a fertile spirit nowadays.
well, it's getting to the. Well, let's see. Let's not getting to the point because it's always kind of been like this in one way or another. Some dude, I can't remember what his name. I think it was Unknown Hudson.
Unknown Hudson.
He was the voice of Early from Squidbillies. He made some really tasteless comments about Dolly Parton, right? And like he
I'm gonna pause the recording for a second. But you asked me about my YouTube channel that was guilty pleasure. It's changed.
yeah, that you don't
Well,
necessarily support anymore because it's kind of
you know, I kind of do support Richard Teeth content nowadays. The only thing is that I miss so much of the old guard. I miss so much of the old people that used to work there and used to make the really, really good jokes.
here's the thing: is that Rooster Teeth's fault?
Yeah, because they chose to get rid of the people that I initially fell in love with their content for.
So it's not so much that you fell in love with Rooster Teeth, but that you fell in love with the work that certain people were doing.
Well, the people that no longer work for them, they worked in multiple areas of their company. Like, for instance, Joel Heyman, super funny dude. He's also kind of nutty and crazy. You can just understand that that's just he's a crazy weirdo. He's kind of a crazy weird guy. He kind of reminds me of my uncle. I guess that's why I kind of like him. I like him as like an actor and as an entertainer.
Yeah.
He's the voice of Caboose in Red vs. Blue.
Okay.
And he's an old. I mean, Caboose is kind of a dummy. He plays a dummy in the show, and he's on a lot of like improv, or he was on a lot of the improv shows on Richard Teeth, and he was even on the podcast. And it's always just a joy anytime he comes on there because you don't know what you're gonna get. He's a wild card of entertainment. He's a really, really funny dude. Are you getting off this way?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense.
Don't want to be caught out there, you know.
Yeah, it's still recording. But yeah, I still really do miss the old guard on Rooster Teeth. It just seems like nowadays they're using a lot of their content to push political ideas, which I don't disagree with their political ideas. I agree with everything they pretty much talk about in a political spectrum. I just don't like the fact that it's mixed with my entertainment now.
You're right. You kind of.
It's like I enjoy salad and I really do enjoy peanut butter, but I don't want lettuce in my peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay.
I'll enjoy it and it's tasteless and it's still there, gives it a crunch, but I just don't enjoy it like that.
Right. It kind of dissolves that sort of illusion, the fun of it. Now we're getting real, huh?
Is that an SRT?
RT.
Lordy. It is an RT. Oh god, that's a nice RT. I don't know the people hearing us can't really understand what we're saying, but there's a Dodge Challenger RT right behind us. Damn. I'm gonna hit pause on that.
Back for a second about dark humor and stuff.
I think that just needs to be supported more.
this last year, my grandma was one of the people that she didn't make it past 2020. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And well, when it happened, we were all at a sort of point where it's just fuck. And here's another thing, you know. There's nothing good going on, and then we lose somebody that we really love and cherish.
Yeah.
And so in a way, what I did to sort of lessen the blow, you know, it almost sounds counterintuitive, but in order to lessen the blow, the first thing I said when I heard that she died was, "Oh, Grandma went out to pasture." I was just making jokes about it from the very start.
Yeah. It's a coping mechanism.
It's how I was able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it kind of hurt. It hurt way too much to just be like, "Oh yeah, Grandma, the one that would make me like enchiladas, the one that would make me her own special smoothie in the mornings, you know, be over in Mexico and shit. This beautiful person died." Yeah. So maybe it's too hard to just talk about the good stuff. How about we just make fun of the death? We make fun of other shit around it.
Yeah.
So
that's one way to go about it.
That's dark humor's place in my book.
Yeah. Everyone definitely has their own acceptance and their way in which they accept the previous trauma in their lives, even if it's through dark humor or just through. I mean, some people are just never talking about it. Like, imagine, like talk to any 50-year-old man, ask them about their mother and see what they say. They'll either tell you all the good stuff, or they will ask you to never say their name again. Because everyone kind of deals with their own thing in their own way. And I totally understand how people can get mad at how dark humor is going on nowadays, on how it's seen as a good thing, that it's not said more often because that's how they're able to cope with their trauma. But then again, there's also the other people that have coped with their trauma, they have accepted it, and they're ready in that stage in their life to, well, we can talk about it now. We can accept it as what it is. We can understand and fully accept the reality of what's happened.
Well, you know,
And I'm kind of ready to start joking about it. There's also a third factor, which is the line of respect. Because if someone very close to someone dies, or let's say something very terrible happens to another person,
I could make fun of my grandma's death,
yeah,
but somebody else wouldn't necessarily be able to join in.
yeah, no.
Not necessarily. Not to say they can't. Okay?
Yeah.
Again, there's always a way of finding the classiest solution.
Yeah.
Doesn't make
It's not forced. You can't force your way into being funny with a dark joke. You have to kind of ease your way in.
like
You have to warm up the person you're talking to, or you have to warm up the audience you're talking to.
yeah.
You can't just say 9/11. No, you can't do that. You have to lead up to that. That's why dark jokes are kind of like the climax of comedy. It's like they can't be a climax in the same way that in a thriller the killer is killed. Also in the same way that in Forrest Gump that he's able to find out he has a son or something like that.
Right.
Everything kind of follows a path and a storyline.
Well, my brother helped me realize this. And I don't think that dark humor is going away. I think dark humor has always had a bit of a place where we kind of keep it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like Mom's vibrator. People know that's there, but you know, it's
We don't
not.
talk about that.
It's not where it's not where everybody can see it.
It's not on top of the dresser drawer. It's inside the back left corner, inside of a canister.
Right.
Of course, we don't talk about it now. We don't talk about how we know that. We just don't talk about it.
It's kind of like it's an intimate thing. Mom's vibrator, and so
I'm gonna regret putting this on the internet.
so but right, just like dark humor is. Dark humor is a very touchy, very intimate, personal thing. You can't just go around, you know, talking obscene shit all the eat shit.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to sneak it in with all the other stuff, and then you realize where dark place is.
It's a niche audience because what we all see for humor is the most accepted humor. The dark shit, we gotta go look for that. Same thing as if you want a car. You want to get a car, right? Well, you just get a normal car. Everyone drives a normal car, but not a lot of people drive a fucking Lamborghini. But if you want a Lamborghini, you can get one. It costs a lot of money, costs effort, but you can get one.
You can make it happen,
Yeah.
more or less.
I mean, not in our lifetimes. We are never gonna own a Lamborghini.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, Mr. Big Shot, when this podcast takes off, and we earn six figures.
Ask me if I'd even want a Ferrari, like, for real.
Jose, do you want a Ferrari?
I mean, Lamborghini. I don't think I do. I don't think I'd want to own one. I would definitely go to, I think there's a place in Vegas where you can
test drive?
yeah, you can drive them on a track.
I've heard about that place, yeah.
Or somebody will drive you in it.
You know, actually, let me ask you, what car would you want to be passenger in? Like, if you had a professional driver in the car with you and you could be a passenger in that car, what car would it be? And this is like driver testing the car with limits.
You can't do it, but have you ever seen the Ariel Atom?
Yeah.
It's a one person car, but
It looks
to
like
ride
an-
passenger.
Yeah, it looks like an F1 car.
Dude.
It's all exoskeleton, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Ariel Atom is sick as hell, dude.
But
I would love to be a passenger
uh-huh.
in a 2020 GTR because I heard their takeoffs are monstrous.
Dude, the I should say the R35 or not R35 when Skyline and GTR were split up by Nissan.
Mm-hmm.
The first GTR that was just a GTR.
Yeah.
Damn, that thing was revolutionary
Yeah.
in terms of driving.
Yeah, I see videos on them all the time. I mean, it's even crazier now that the domestic import embargo is gone, so you can buy one. You could totally import a Japanese R34, R35 to the US.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I've seen them. There's a guy in Vandenberg who owns two of them. Huh. And they look so sick, dude.
He imported them right-hand drive from Japan
Yes.
legally.
Legally, you can do that.
Huh.
It's because of the domestic embargo. I think it's import embargo that got lifted because at a certain point the gas emission standard for Japan didn't match California's, so you had to or no, I don't think it was California. I think it was the U.S. But there was a holdover on autos that you can buy, and after a certain period of time after their manufacturing date, you can then import them to the U.S.
I thought it was 25 years. At least that's what it used to be.
It's been 25 years, dude.
Yeah, but like,
Isn't it weird how old we've gotten now?
yeah. Like just a couple years ago, the R32 Skyline, that became legal to bring over because it's old enough.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So
It's crazy as hell. I would love to see more of. I don't see him anywhere nowadays. I think I've only seen one in my entire life. Driving up and down like this coast, even through LA, I've only seen one Scirocco. I've never seen another one in my entire life. I remember seeing it once in Anaheim, and that's it. I've never seen a Scirocco after that.
and just because of that, $40,000 or
Yeah.
whatever it's worth.
Oh my god!
I know what I got.
Why are they so expensive?
Remember when
they're
Initial
cool.
D hit its 4th or 5th season, and like 86 Corollas were just
Oh yeah, the Truno,
Two-
AE86.
true shit boxes, going for like $3,000-$4,000. Just because
Eurobeat.
yeah,
Because of Eurobeat.
it's like the whole point of the 86, the AE86 was that it was a shit box,
Mhm.
right? That could stand with the big boys, given certain tuning. You could apply that to any car.
You turn him into a fucking missile car and rip that shit anywhere.
The point I took away from it was that it doesn't matter what car you're driving, is that the driver and the tuning makes the car. But people see the black and white lunchbox driving around, and everybody's like, "Oh, hey!"
And all of a sudden, you
5K,
hear
6K.
You hear in the distance, slowly creeping up. I have been in this place before. Higher on this day, and I know it's the time to go.
Yeah.
Oh shit! They're building new houses here.
It's crazy. Like,
that whole part of car culture for imports, I think it's slowly going away. I don't think
changing.
It is changing. It is definitely changing. I mean, classic shows will always be around, but I kind of miss the good old days when it was Fast and the Furious fans dreaming of getting.
Well, I think that's it.
240 SX.
I think that's just it. It's. I miss the good old days, whatever they were, because our good old days, right, were scoffed at by dudes who grew up who were modding in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of missing that time in your life when it meant a lot to you. I mean,
yeah.
And
even the style back then. Some people still really like the style. That's why they still have old cars from that time period, whether it's like the early 2000s or the late 90s.
Yeah.
That's why even now Honda Civics, like the Honda Civic I had, the 99 Honda Civic 4-door, I miss that car so much. I shouldn't have sold it, but my parents' car, so they can still feel like
you were.
Plus, I really like the car I had already, so it didn't really matter much to me. But if I ever wanted to get a project car and just use it as, you know what, I have my commuter and I got my fast boy here. My fast boy would be another 4-door Honda Civic.
Sure. So that's the car that you bonded with.
Yeah. And that little engine was so damn zippy. I couldn't get it smogged for shit though.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I regret about it. That's one thing I think one day I might move out of California. One day I think. And the one thing I'm never gonna miss is the emissions restrictions in this place. The emissions restrictions are so damn strict.
They gotta be. You know why?
Because we're overly populated.
Yeah, there's a fuck ton of cars.
Yeah, there's too many cars here. That's a nice 240. Oh, dude, I should tell you, one of my coworkers at work, he is souping up the shit out of his Volvo 240.
Really?
It looks so cool. Yeah, the paint is bullshit. Or I'm sorry, I should say that. The paint is not there yet. But goddamn, does it sound good? It fucking feels good.
It's got it where it counts.
Mm-hmm. I think the guy has like property out like all the way in the Bluffs in Apollo. He's around my age. I think he might be younger. But I think his family owns like a farmland over there. So he has like this big ass farm that he can work on cars and shit.
Yeah.
Goddamn, if only he had a big ass garage, I would work on so much shit that I don't have space for right now. It's so fucking good, dude.
I think that's what car culture boils down to for me. Is having my own little guy, my own little car, whatever. And car culture is car culture has to do with my fun that I have between me and the car. The fun that I have between the car and myself.
Yeah.
That's what car culture is. And then I make something cool, I make it mine. And then I go to a meet with other people who made their own stuff, and then we get to go and compare and contrast and be like, oh, what do you have? Did you go with the CA?
Yeah, do you have
18?
an AW supercharger on that? Oh no, I got a stock eBay.
Or the SR20. What? Oh, you stuck with the KA24.
How's that working out, man? You take corners pretty good. Does it handle it?
Exactly. You having trouble with that one thing that the Ks are known for having, like that. Not so much. That's a nice RX-7 you got. Nice FD there.
It's a little deeper than that. A little deeper. I know.
I think the biggest thing with that is
that's one thing I'm jealous about car culture. Huh?
It's kind of like DeLorean syndrome, where somebody sees that you have a DeLorean. It's like first thing is, oh, it's a DeLorean, and then Back to the Future references, and it's like maybe the dude likes the fact that it has a stainless steel bar, but yeah, folding doors. Or that's why I bought it, not because of Marty McFuckface. You know,
maybe he just wants to bang his mom. unless you like strip it for weight and make it a convertible. Which, why don't they make a convertible Tesla? That'd be cool as hell. But anyway, he has that, and he has a custom DeLorean with like an all custom body on it.
Yeah.
And it looks sick, dude. It looks like it's from a vaporwave wallpaper. Like straight up a vaporwave wallpaper car.
And that's fucking dope.
It's dope as hell.
I'd want to know. I'd want to know why he did it, why he made it like that, or where he was inspired to. Why he was inspired to do it like that. That's the shit I want to know.
There's also the fact that like West Coast Customs, they're known for making like ridiculously shit. Like I watched a video where they turned a Rolls Royce, they customized a Rolls Royce of all cars. A Rolls Royce is gorgeous the way it is, just as their wallpapers and photos, but they customize it to where it looks like a Rolls Royce from 2077. So they made it like, they gave it like a big wide body, modified the entire front end and the lights. They modified the rear so it slopes down big, and they put covers on the side of it so you don't see the wheels, but they put lights on the bottom of the car so it looks like it's floating.
So the appeal for that car isn't so much that they modified it; it's more like the way that they modified it, what they chose to do, and how they did it. That's interesting.
You won't even guess who the car was for. It was for a certain celebrity.
Who was the celebrity?
I asked you to guess.
Will Ferrell.
No.
Seth Rogen.
No.
Mila Kunis. Sting.
Sting? No.
Who?
Justin Bieber.
Oh, I remember now. I remember seeing the post.
The Rolls Royce looked super nice. The only problem is that it was going to Justin Bieber.
Why was so? Maybe he likes that shit.
Look, I'll admit, I kind of like Justin Bieber's music. One or two tracks. But
You're admitting that you like music. That's probably the riskiest thing you've said today.
but I will say some parts of his music is kind of good. I will also say that the majority of it is bad. But I do enjoy like a few of his songs.
Why is it bad?
Generic. I think in a lot of his songs he doesn't actually do anything different than what other artists are doing.
What do other artists do?
Original songs. For me, when I look for music and I listen to music, what I get out of it and what I seek is a story. I like songs with clear story in it. That's why I really like instrumentals, because you can tell that just through the music itself without lyrics. Here, I got you. Just through the music itself without lyrics, you can surmise a story just from the sound itself. You don't need a human's voice to tell you what's being said in the song.
Sure.
That's why for me, like video game soundtracks and like movie soundtracks, they kind of fit because they already have a substructure of a story that they have to adhere to. But when it comes to just straight up instrumentals and straight up music, with some good lyrics, you can tell a great story, and that's the kind of music I really, really appreciate.
Sure, but like that's not what people are putting on their phones.
No.
Like I'm not waking up and going to work.
Maybe they are. Maybe they are. We don't know.
Could be.
Phones.
Could be.
I have the Halo soundtrack on every phone I've ever owned.
It reminds me of the old Daniel Tasha joke. What was it? It's like, you really love the anthem, or the national anthem.
Oh yeah, you have that shit on your iPod.
Yes,
Trained it?
exactly. He's like,
I remember watching that. Yeah.
I love listening to Purple Haze and the national anthem. The one that Jimi Hendrix? No, just the regular. Yeah, that one.
Yes.
So, yeah, man. No.
Wait a minute. Can you hold on? Is the national anthem copyright?
I don't know. Actually.
Who owns the copyright to the national anthem? Well, I guess it would be the U.S. government. Now that I think about it.
I guess I don't.
Yeah, because technically, if I'm gonna put this on the internet, you can't sing songs. His copyright will fuck you in the ass, honestly.
Yeah. Fortunate things.
We're about 10 minutes away from it. I think we got more subjects to go through. One thing I I want to go through. Speaking of music, you know what got me super sad earlier this week? Daft Punk is retiring.
Oh yeah,
Daft Punk is retiring.
They broke up.
Really? They broke up?
You watched the video, right?
I watched it. Yeah, one of them exploded.
Yeah,
One of them exploded, man.
that's a metaphor if I've ever seen one.
We're breaking up. I'm gonna set self-destruct on my partner. He's gonna walk away.
Exploding into a million pieces doesn't
It still makes me sad.
doesn't
It still
ye-
makes me sad, dude.
it doesn't yell retiring.
Yeah. Dude, one of their songs, god damn it. The fucking song they did with The Weeknd, I Feel It Coming, that's a good fucking song. It's so retro, it's a classic. I would call that a classic. I Feel It Coming is such a fucking classic. Such a romantic song too.
Right.
God damn. I Feel It Coming, Around the World, everyone knows Around the World.
Around the world, around the world.
Okay, we can't sing. We cannot sing anymore. Copyright. Yeah, that one. And Television Rules the Nation.
Oh yeah.
And the most memorable Technologic. Or no, Robot Rock. Robot Rock.
Technologic.
Do you remember when they had Daft Punk in a fucking Marvel movie? The song, I mean.
Which one?
There was in Iron Man 2, there was a part of Iron Man 2 where War Machine or I didn't call him War Machine, where like the prototype, where what's his name? Rhodey took the Iron Man suit for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And he started like smacking Iron Man in the face, and you hear in the background, rock, robot rock.
That's fucking dope.
Oh, it's fucking cool as shit.
Thank you, my dude.
Hit pause on this. We're gonna pay for the toll.